So this is a video on my trading strategies, and it's not right or wrong, or others is not right or wrong. It's just different. This is the way I trade, and the reason I do. We had a little bit of chat going on in the chat room about dip buying or trading the pot stocks, CGC in particular, and it was a dip buy, and it's probably $1 move in this trade. If you had been lucky enough to buy it here at $20.50, traded to $22.50, that's a $2 move. That's nothing wrong with that. But there's nothing in there to really say that was an ability to buy. Probably more like here was the buy. So it's a $1 move, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a great move, and it is in this rising channel. There's no doubt, and it makes a good day trade. But that's not the kind of trade that I prefer to do. I don't like to fight the trend. This is a big bearish trend, and there is lots of traders that dip buy stocks. They do this, what they call the J or fish hook. They see it bottoming here, and they buy it, and they catch that, or they take the stock, or they take options. And in this case, I went from 25 to 28 over a 3 or 4 day period. So that's a pretty good trade. And then got up to 20 and then rolled over again. So maybe it does it again. But look at the fight in the trend. So you take this stock at 25, and 3 days later you trade it out at 28, or you buy the breakdown, you short the breakdown here, stay in the trend, and trade it for 25 bucks. This is a much better trade, shorting it on the breakdown for 25 bucks rather than trying to trade it for pennies on a dip buy. You make $1, you could have made $25 on the downside, you make $1 on the upside. So so there's lots of, if you're day trading, there's lots of reasons to buy and sell stocks. But the same thing, look at this Yuma, for instance. This came from 7 to 3. It's down $4. Now it has rebounded, and the range for it is really sort of a buy here to call it 290 to 370. So 80-cent move. So are you better off to take this short in here at 7 and trade it to 3 for a $4 move because that's the trend, or try to dip by the reversal and trade it for a maximum of 90 cents? There's lots of stocks that we traded, like why fight the feeling? Here we did Weight Watchers at 29.5. Why? It popped, wedged, broke the wedge, and then started to trade up and got into a nice channel up, trading to 37.50. Now we've stopped out. We sold some all the way up, and we've stopped out now because it's hit our 35 stop. So 29.50 to 37 to 38. So let's call it $8. Now this has come back 5, so that's a pretty big sell-off because the markets are very, volatile or hard. So and when it broke the trend line, actually, then you could say, okay, yeah, this has broken the trend, so now we can short this stock. And so you're not actually fighting the trend anymore. So you rode the trend up, the trend is broken, so now you go short and you trade it down. There's nothing in CGC that shows that this trend is broken. This is a big bearish trend, and it looks to trade much lower. ACB, same thing. Look at this waterfall trend coming off. Now it has bounced. Could have bought the bounce, got oversold. And this is probably the best example of buying the bounce. here, huge capitulation as this stock sells off sharply from 30 to 13.5. And here's your big capitulation, huge volume, spikes down, pulls and closes back up. And then we did get a follow through today on it. So there's lots of guys, not guys necessarily, lots of traders that will take these kind of trades on, try to dip by them, and they're very successful at it. But it's not for me. That's not my style. These aren't stocks. I'm not trying to dip by these stocks. I'm not trying to catch a falling knife and go. I like to trade the trend. For instance, you could have bought, the stock in around 10, and it went to 30. And sure, there was opportunities to short it here when it failed. Here, a couple of these trades in here, but it's a $20 move to the upside and $1 to the downside if you're lucky enough to short it and catch it at the right time. So that's just my philosophy in trading. I'm looking to trade big wins, and to get the big win, I have to be in the trend. Shorted this stock here at 83.5, and it traded down to 60. Why? Because this is the trend. Look at this thing go down. Now it's bounced from 60 back to 65, so that's a $5 recovery. But you had to be brave enough to buy it at the bottom of the trend line here, and then watch it ride up. This is a bounce down one, or drop one, bear flag, breaks that bear flag. That's an indicator this is going lower. This is just a dead cat bounce in here. So we get a $20 move, $25, $23 move, and we get a $4 or $5 recovery. So this is the kind of trade I'm looking for, big moves. Now I don't get it every time. It doesn't always work. But so we have three types of trades. We have big win, small win, small loss. For instance, TVIX today. Now I traded this, but the problem was a lot of the gain was already made early in the pre-market. But I took it at here and I did trade it for, well, I got stopped out, so I could have traded it for more, but I got stopped out. And, went from $15.50 to $17, $1.50 move. So that's, 10% on your money. That's a pretty good trade. Why? Because I'm not fighting the feeling. I think, markets are going to go up or go down, and so I take that trade. Now, I got stopped out, so I didn't maximize the whole thing. But you could have if you had stayed in the trade and stayed in the trend. There was a good opportunity there to make 10% on your money. And there's a zillion ideas today for shorting stocks. Look at this is my short list. Look at all the red in there. Now this has bounced a bit, so there's a few green ones. But look at the red on a day like today. I mean, even the long list has a lot of red in it, 50-50. And these are all strong stocks. And they're 50-50. So everybody's, you have a strategy and it works for you. God bless you for that. I mean, and I think that's great. If you have a strategy and it works and you stick with it and you're successful with it, then by all means, that's how you trade it, for sure. My style is to take the trend, trade the trend, stay with it as long as I can. When it breaks the trend, then I bail out of the stock. Big win, small loss. Three types of trades.